Hello TFcon. It's 2020, which means we're doing the convention virtual this year. I wish I could be there with all you guys celebrating the thing that we love so much, Transformers, and hanging out and having a couple drinks with you guys. Instead of being there and giving a panel, I'm gonna do a virtual panel. So today, through a series of weird events, I have a very special guest in my home, and we're gonna do an interview with him. And this is unlike anything we've ever done before, because this is just so bizarre about how it happened and all the series of events that led to the moment that you're about to witness. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Be safe, wash your hands. This is Dan Romano. Did I say that right?
Perfect.
Okay, Dan Romano, like the cheese. He is the little boy that's pictured on this box. Now, I'm gonna wear a mask because you guys already know what I look like, but we really want to see what Dan's face looked like after all these years. So this is him. So, I'm gonna give you the story of how I got this.
Okay.
All right. Many, many years ago, I went to an auction out in nowhere, Pennsylvania. And this was one of the first items being auctioned off. It was a whole Transformers auction. The guy was getting married. And it was time for him to let go of some stuff. I didn't know this existed until that moment. So I went to the auction. I'm like, I'm leaving with this item. We get there. The place is packed. Because this guy had Japanese stuff sealed in the box. He had everything. And this was there, and I love licensed goods. Because, you know, the toys are the toys, I have all the toys, but it's stuff like this. Like, I'll collect this stuff for the rest of my life, and I'll never have it all, and I'll keep finding things I didn't know existed. So, it's the first item for auction. 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 150, 200. At around the $700 mark, I lean over, I'm in the front row, and I lean over, and there's a guy already leaning over looking back at me, and he says, "Are you Rik Alveraz?" "Yeah." "Your books inspired me to collect." $750. So around the $900 mark, I lean over again, and he's already leaning out there looking at me. And he says, "I already have one, I just want it for the sticker sheet." $950. So, at some point I tapped out, and I do the Rik thing, and I become friends with the guy. I'm like, man, he beat me. He got it. I gotta know who this guy is. So we stayed friends for a bunch of years, and then 7 years after he bought it, he says, "Rik, it's time to sell it, and I wanna sell it to you, and I'm gonna sell it to you for the price I got it for all those years ago." So I got a deal on this. And this was the one thing, it got away from me. I've never been able to find another one. And I got the very one that I lost. So this one is the only one that we know of that's never been assembled. All the little parts and everything are still sealed in the bag.
That's amazing.
And this is the only one that we know of. Like this. Now, I'm a little jealous because we got a surprise for you in this box. And your box is a little nicer than mine. So you're gonna go home today with a box, courtesy of your wife.
Yes.
All right? So, that's the story of how I got this. And then there's the story of how I met you. So your wife, she posted on, I don't know if it was a forum for Transformers, something on Facebook. And the miracle of Facebook brought us together. Somehow, someone posted that picture in another group, and I was a part of that group, and they say, "Rik, go look at the picture." And I look at the picture, and it's a picture of this very box, because there's only a few of them known to exist.
Sure.
This is the Trailbreaker Power Cycle, and it's my favorite thing in my collection, because of the story of how I got it. And your wife's like, "Hey, my husband was the little kid pictured on that box. I need to find him. I need to find this box for him. Are they easy to get? Are they expensive?" Well, they're not easy to get, and they are expensive. Mm-hmm. But my good friend Dave Bonds, he has two of these. He has the American box, and then he has the Canadian box, which is, his sample is the only one that we know of. So, in here is Dave's box. There's no Power Cycle in it.
Sure.
All right. I didn't want you guys to have to mortgage your house. But we got you a box. Okay?
That's amazing.
So this is the box. This is you.
That is me.
So Dan, what is the story? How did you become the kid on the box?
The kid on the box. So I am 4 years old there. My parents were approached and I was talking to my father the other day about this. They don't know if it was at the mall or at a playground, but they were.
Now, was this Rhode Island, Massachusetts?
Sorry, I grew up right outside of Hartford, Connecticut, in Newington, Connecticut. And my parents were approached. I was playing, or I was with them, by a woman who said that they saw me and said that as a model that they're looking for kids with my type of look, specifically. And I don't know if it was my hair was much more red back then when I was younger. I don't know if it was that, but she gave my parents a card and said, just call this number sometime if you want to see if there's any modeling opportunities for your son. And they did. So I ended up going to West Hartford, Connecticut, where I think there was a Coleco base of operations there.
Coleco was headquartered. So this was actually produced by Coleco right outside of Hartford.
Gotcha. So I went there, and I do, and people want to be like, I have a memory of this shoot, and I'll get to why I have that memory, I think. I got there, and again, rehashing the story with my father, he said we were there for like 2.5, 3 hours. In a room for a while, there were other kids there, and then they brought me in, and they sat me down to take a shoot, and it was on this.
So there were other kids who were shooting on this as well?
Not on this, because I think they had other types of big wheel power cycles.
There was the Thundercats, the G.I. Joe ones, Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider. So I had the Rambo one as a kid.
Yes. So I ended up lucky enough to be on the Transformers one. And then the shoot itself, and this is what I remember, because these very nice duds that I'm wearing were brand new, and the same thing with my sneakers. And they actually wiped my sneakers down as well. So I could not keep my feet on the pedals, especially this one here, because of the way it was angled. Couldn't keep them because it was so slippery. So continually just dropping. It was a very almost traumatic experience for me as a kid with this because of that. And they had to put cans underneath the back of my heels that they took out, obviously, of the picture to keep them up there. So me, 4 years old, and I remember sitting on this, and it was very hot because there was all the lights from a photo shoot, and having them to hold these poses for about like an hour or so. Ended up being on this box, and the second memory I have of it is actually going to the store to buy one when I was young.
Now you actually got to ride this Power Cycle as a kid.
I did.
And what happened to that one?
That just, because I moved a few times. I'm now living in Boston and things of that nature. Things just kind of slipped away. Didn't save it, just like why it's so valuable now to have something that hasn't been even assembled, right? So just got thrown in the trash. I did have the box for a while, and that just disappeared as well. Just turned into another box.
So you're 4 years old in this picture.
Yeah.
Did you play with Transformers at the time?
I did. I was more of a He-Man guy, honestly, to be honest with you. I was a Masters of the Universe guy, but I did have, of course, Transformers as well.
Well, I was a big He-Man kid too.
Yeah.
I think we're around the same age. I'm 41.
Yeah.
So He-Man came out first, and I had a He-Man at my dad's place, and then I had Castle Grayskull there, and I had Castle Grayskull at my mom's place. So I had 2 Castle Grayskull. I was a spoiled kid. So Dave wanted to know, did you get to keep the outfit and the shoes?
I did get to keep the outfit and the shoes. That's definitely something I did have. And then my payment for it as well. And I'm told that I kept the money, but I can't prove any of that. in terms of, I think my parents took the money at the time. But we'll go with it that they gave it to me.
So I was kind of half expecting you to pull a prank on me and just kind of show up dressed as close to possible as this. I was playing with myself in my head. Is he going to show up and be the little kid?
I wish I thought of that.
Because that would have made me assemble this and then somehow Photoshop you in.
Yeah. If we can, and then you put the cans underneath my feet to keep them on the pedals too.
What type of cans were
there? There were cans of corn, and I swear, every time I see a can of corn, there's a little tinge. I think there's a little post-traumatic stress going on from that photo shoot. And my parents used to ask me after as well. This is what they said. I don't really remember this, but they said, "Do you want to do any more of this?" Because I wanted no part of it whatsoever. So this is my one and only modeling gig.
So what do your children think about this?
I think a little bit they can care less. I think they'll appreciate it when they're older. They're 15 and 9 right now. They understand that I'm on the box, but I'm not Mark Wahlberg in movies.
This is 30 years ago.
Yeah.
What does your wife think about all this?
She's obviously thinks it's something that I should cherish and God bless her, and she's great for coming out and reaching out to you. And she's the catalyst for all of this. Like, we wouldn't be sitting here today without my wife.
So I think I might have scared your wife when I messaged her. So I think there was like some negotiating between us to like kind of prove that I was the person who I was. And I can actually, you don't have to pay, bring the money, and then once you see if you're happy with it, and then I sent her some links to me so that she could see that I'm a real person and I'm not trying to like scam her or anything. So I kind of feel like there was some negotiating. A little bit. A little bit, she says. She's giving me the nod. So, you've got an envelope.
Yeah, so I got an envelope. So God bless my mother. She's no longer with us. Rest in peace. She died in 2003. But she saved a lot of this stuff. And she saved the, I don't know if you would call it a purchase order or invoice that was sent to me with the payment. So it's addressed to me, Danny Romano. When I was growing up, everyone called me Danny instead of Dan or Daniel. And it's addressed to my attention to my mother, Maureen. And in here is the actual, as you can see, it says Transformers Cycle, model fee, and then they reimbursed for the clothing as well.
So did you bring the clothing with you?
We did, yeah.
And then they reimbursed you for it?
Correct.
And they had to wipe those shoes down?
They wiped those shoes down, I'll tell you what.
So this is the purchase order. It's got your old address on it.
Yes.
All right. So this came with a check to you, and this is from West Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And the amount that they're reimbursing you for is $81.40.
$81.40, which I was told that I kept in but again, I just disappeared.
So it's a modeling fee of 2.5 hours, pants - sneakers. For the pants sneakers, it was $18.98. $25 an hour for the modeling fee, and that is amazing that you still have that. Thank you for sharing.
No problem at all. And I think because of this, I think you should keep the second portion there because it is double. It's the old
oh my God.
Paper.
Kids don't know what these papers are. They don't know today.
The carbon copy.
This is a carbon copy.
The original, when you CC someone an email, that's what it is. The carbon copy.
Are you sure I can have this?
Of course. Yes.
Because this is gonna go. So I said this is my favorite thing. So I have something framed of it, and I just, thanks to Dave, and thank you for this.
No problem.
Thanks to Dave, I just got this in. This is a slide of the pictures on the side of the box.
Huh.
And it actually has the handwriting of the Coleco designer on it.
That's amazing.
So this is the slide that was used to put these images on this box, and that's his handwriting.
That is pretty cool. Wow.
And was there any other paperwork?
The other thing I have is not paperwork. It's a picture that my parents took during the shoot of me on the cycle itself. A little worn, obviously, because it's.
Now, is this a Polaroid?
It is. If you look at the back, it says Polaroid on there.
Oh! So this is a different angle
Yep.
of of you. I can't see the cans though. I can kind of,
You
I
can
kind of see
kind
the
of
can over this
see
side.
them on that side.
Yeah.
Because that was the one with the certain angle that it was at that I couldn't keep my foot there.
Yeah. So you look happy in this picture.
Yeah, I was happy. I mean, it was overall experience, but that memory is burned into my.
Now they didn't let you keep this one, huh?
No, because I do remember going to a store, and I thought that was when I think it sunk in for me, being 4 or 5 years old whenever it came out, is seeing it on the store shelf.
Did you ever tell your friends, "Oh, I was a kid"?
I had a framed. My parents framed. They took. I don't know if they took a picture of this or they had something framed that I used to have up on my wall. But no one believes me ever when I say that to me.
Well, now everything on the internet is true, and so now this will be on the internet forever, and you can show this to your kids and grandkids one day.
Yeah.
So speaking of this, we talked about. Thank you so much for this. We got the slide. We got this. These are going to go framed because here I have framed. This is the instructions, and this is an unused sticker sheet of the Power Cycle. And these are the instructions have shown up before, but not in that condition, and the stickers have shown up before, but not actually still unused. And so when they came from the set I have, and so when I got them, I thought, I need to frame them. Because it is such an amazing story to me how this is the one I lost, and then many years later it came back to me.
Yeah.
And now you're here, so it's just a weird thing. It's just a weird thing.
Speaking of stickers, I remember when I was driving the one that I used to have when I was a kid. It used to bother me to no end because when we put the stickers on the cycle, this top one here was always off center, and I remember looking at it, it's like, God, that thing is off center. That used to bother me to no end when I was young.
Did you ever race these with kids in the
I saw the
neighborhood?
kids in the neighborhood. I didn't see a lot of people with this specific one. Yeah, obviously we got it because it was, I was on the box. But in terms of, it was just the other big wheels at the time.
So yeah, I had the Rambo one as a kid, and even as a kid, I remember thinking, that's really weird that there's a Rambo Power Cycle. So the first movie I ever saw in the theater was Empire Strikes Back. Second movie my parents ever took me to was Rambo 2.
Oh wow.
So I have a vivid memory of going to the theater and seeing Rambo and then walking out. And I just remember as a kid, it's odd that they have a little kid's toys for Rambo.
And I think it had his face on it, right?
It said like Rambo on it.
Yeah.
I think they used a lot of the same parts for a lot of the different Power Cycles.
Sure.
So do you know who this is?
I do not know who this is. I know the Power Cycle, it transforms, right? That was the cool part of it. But I don't know who this is.
So this is Trailbreaker.
Okay.
He originally came out in the 1984 line. It's just one of those characters, like, he showed up a handful of times in the cartoon, had a few lines, and since this came out so early in the Transformers brand, I think they kind of looked at the art and just said, oh, he looks cool.
Yeah.
Let's put him on the box rather than Optimus Prime or Bumblebee or Prowl, who was, a big character for licensed goods. So it's just bizarre that this character is on the box. So, do you remember anything else about the photo shoot? Did you talk to the other kids there?
No, I don't remember much. And again, being 4 years old, probably one of my earliest memories is actually the photo shoot itself. But I don't remember much now.
So, I used to be a Hasbro designer. I worked in Rhode Island. But I've written a few books on collecting Transformers. And your picture is in the very last page of the book. And the reason it's in the last page of the book, because I got this about 2 weeks after I handed the book in. And I said, stop everything. I need to put this thing in the book. And they're like, we don't have room, the book's done. I said, I got a few more things, we'll put it on the last page. And so that's how important it was to me that we got it on here. And I kind of listed an estimated value of what they sell for in...
Oh, wow.
So you can have that book.
Oh, thank you.
I'll sign it for you,
Yeah,
but I'll make a deal with you.
Okay.
You gotta sign my box.
Sure, I can do
So,
that.
some people will say this is heresy because
Yeah, we're gonna devalue it.
we're gonna. Well, to me, it's adding value because I have a great story about hey, Dan Romano came to my house. He signed my box. So we're gonna have you sign it on film.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
So let's see.
Where's
You know what? Somewhere where we can clearly see it. So around here, maybe. I'm a little. No, go ahead, do it. Do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes. I want you to do it. So now it actually just looks like it's.
Just some kind of.
Yeah, right. It looks some random writing. Just some random writing. Wow. So, thank you so much for this.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for coming to my home.
No, I think
Do
this
you,
is the.
you want to take a quick look at this before we
Sure.
unveil what's in the box?
It's been so long since I've seen it.
So, where did you get yours? Was it a Toys R Us?
No, I remember it being, I don't know, it was one of those big, like a BJ Costco type stores. Because I remember the aisles were huge where they were.
Well, when we're kids, everything seems huge.
Yeah.
But this, as I said, it's unassembled.
Wow.
That's the front wheel. We saw the sticker sheet. These are all the little screws and bolts.
Wow.
Now, did you and your dad put this together?
I would assume so.
I mean, you're welcome to touch all this stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it must be a little weird because you might remember it being a little bit bigger as a kid.
It definitely seems a little small.
Yeah, now it's super small. So your butt sat,
Yeah.
I remember getting older and having to move the chair back
Yeah.
a little bit. But there's a ride-on toy, should not be used near swimming pool. So, although I'm pretty sure this is going to float, so I'm not worried about this drowning. So I don't know if any of this is bringing back anything. This was the little side piece.
So did this have the brake on it too?
It didn't have a brake.
It didn't have a brake.
It didn't have a brake.
It
No.
must have been a different car than it had.
And this was the little seat. Look how small this is now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a little warm. It doesn't. I don't want to force it in there, but
No.
look how small this is. I mean, it's so weird. It's so weird that people never thought about keeping these things
No.
for whatever reason. It's bike. It's a power cycle. I'm gonna throw it out.
It's unassembled.
Yeah, it's lived its life. So I have no idea where this came from, where this item lived for a bunch of years, unassembled, never put together. But it's got an address on here that I should have never noticed. Western Auto Supply, Delaware, Ohio. So it gives me something to look into.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. All right, so I'll put this to the side. And that is the one that's actually pictured in the Facebook post that your wife put up.
Interesting.
Because there's only a few examples of the box out there photographed. So that's the actual one that your wife put on Facebook. So I haven't opened this. This came from Dave Bonds.
It's interesting. He's got the Transformers.
I know. He sent it to me. I'm gonna let you take this box home so you can keep it somewhere safe.
Sure.
Because I don't know if we can get you another one. All right. So keep this somewhere safe. I have not opened this, and I will let you. I'll hold this open, and I will let you. There it is.
There it is.
Much nicer than the one I had, and I'm really jealous.
Wow. That is very, very cool. That is very, very cool.
I wonder if Dave hid any treasure inside. Oh, he just put a box to keep it shape.
Keep it shape.
Smart man.
It's funny.
So,
A box of bowls. See, everyone uses it as storage. Right?
Yeah.
You see back here, it says Xmas bowls.
Xmas, yeah. So now you know, when you're done, when you take this box out that's inside here, you can put your Christmas bowls in here, Christmas, Hanukkah bowls, whatever bowls you have, you can put your bowls in here. So this is for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Courtesy of your wife.
Yes.
And my friend, your wife was the one who decided to spend your income on this. Thanks to Dave Bonds for agreeing. He thought this was an amazing story.
No, it is.
And he loves the Power Cycle as much as I do. So he actually sent me that slide. Because he's like, Rik, this belongs with you. You take it. So maybe we can give Dave a call.
Sure.
And you can just say hi to him.
Yeah. No,
So this is your box. I'll let you hold it again so we can put it back inside.
Sure.
So do you have a place where this is going to live yet?
No, we'll have to discuss that. I'll discuss that with my wife.
Now, were you expecting it to be as big as it is?
A little bit, just on the box side of things. So we'll find a good spot for it, though.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do a little tour of the basement.
Okay.
It's not done yet, but it's enough to give you the idea of what's happening down there.
Sure.
So do you collect anything?
I'm big into tabletop games. I'm a big board game guy. Was collecting comics for a little bit. I stopped that for now, but I do I like collecting something. I've always growing up with the cards, and I like the collection aspect of it. So I'm excited to see the basement because I've heard it's quite the collection.
I have a collection, that infamous a little bit.
Yeah.
Has this made you want to go out and get some Transformers?
It has a little bit. I think out of all the 80s cartoons in that era, it stands up the best in terms of actually being able to watch it. Whereas some of the He-Man and the early ones for He-Man were...
He-Man's, yeah.
It's a little rough. It's a little rough.
It's tough to sit through some of those.
Yes.
Transformers, some episodes are better than others.
Sure.
GoBots is a tough one to watch. Do you remember GoBots?
I don't know, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Favorite cartoon show as a kid? Real quick. Rapid fire questions.
I love the Mask.
Mask. I collect Mask. I love Mask.
Yeah, I loved Mask when I was a kid.
I love Mask. I worked on a Mask pitch while I was at Hasbro.
Oh, really?
It's very different.
Yeah.
Very different. Wrestling. 1980s wrestling, Hulk Hogan.
Ultimate Warrior guy.
Ultimate Warrior. I'm a Macho Man guy.
Yeah. The wrestling buddy toys were amazing. Absolutely amazing. They were the soft plush toys, but they had the nose was hard. So you were trying to wrestle with these toys, and always the nose would always hurt.
So when you whack someone with it,
the nose was hard.
Right.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe. Did you play with G.I. Joe at all?
I did. I was more of a fringe G.I. Joe guy. From afar. I think I'd only had a few of the toys.
All right. And we're both products of the '80s.
Yeah.
Star Wars toys.
Yes. Star Wars toys, and then revamped Star Wars toys as well.
Oh, Power of the Force. So like in the '90s.
A little bit.
We were going out.
Yeah, a little bit. A big.
I was in high school at the time, and I remember chasing down all the different variants, and now they're absolutely worthless.
Of course.
Because they've made such better figures.
Sure.
But there's still some collectors who treasure them. So.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we take a little tour of the basement? Any final thoughts?
No, I think I would love to thank my wife. This wouldn't be possible without her. So I'm appreciative of her, and you as well. This is an amazing story. And it brings it full circle for me as well.
Well, thank you. I think we're both finally done with the Power Cycle legacy. Yeah. We can put it behind us and just move on, both of us, with our lives. So thank you very much. We're going to do some footage of Dan in the basement, doing some reactions. And TFcon, sorry we couldn't be there this year. Hope to see you next year. Thank you.